This is Gadget Stop 321. In today's video, I'm going to be comparing two Sailor pens. I just got this one in the mail today. This is the Sailor Lecoule, and I would classify this as an entry-level pen. I think I've seen some places this is considered a pen that's appropriate for a school-age kid. And I also have a Sailor Pro Gear Slim, which is, I guess you could almost classify it as the entry to the more premium pens. Now, this is not the least expensive Sailor pen you can get, but I liked this one because it looks like the Pro Gear Slim. It's the same size, very similar. I mean, it's the same style. But this is like a budget version of the Pro Gear Slim. Now, both of these pens, they used to have this pen on, this pen used to be available on Jet pens, and I looked at it several times and I almost bought it. They had this color. This is I don't know if you can see it, it's a pearly coral color, and I've always liked it, but it's no longer available at Jet pens, so I got both of these from a Japanese retailer. Got them from different retailers through Amazon. Neither one of them came with a converter. When I bought the Pro Gear Slim, I bought it first. I went ahead and bought a converter. And when I got this one, I thought, oh, I'll just use the converter that I got for the Pro Gear Slim. Not thinking a lot of times, or I always have at least two pens inked up at one time. I'll have one for just everyday writing and one with a more vibrant color ink for grading papers. But, so I only got one converter. So, in order to compare these, I want to use the same ink. I'm going to go ahead and use the cartridges that came with this one. And once I've emptied these cartridges, I'll just use them. I'll just refill them with an ink syringe. So I may or may not get another converter. I'm going to go ahead while I'm talking about these pens and put the ink cartridges in so that they can be the ink working its way through. Now let's see. This is also a threaded cap, so I'm going to see how many turns it takes to remove the cap. 1, 2, just a hair over 2 rotations. I think this one took, let's see, 1 3/4. So, all right, let me get the cartridge in here real quick. The plastic on this Lecoule feels very similar. It's a nice thick plastic or acrylic. It doesn't, I don't think this one has a cap liner. Yeah, and you don't feel it. It just, when you screw it in. On the Pro Gear Slim, you can kind of feel, you can see it, it's got a dark cap liner in there. You can kind of feel it engaging just as you almost have the cap fully threaded on there. Okay, I wanted to have the same ink in both of these to compare them. Let's compare the exterior. First of all, obviously, they're the same shape. They've got, I mean, they're the same dimensions. Like I mentioned, the same quality, thickness of acrylic or plastic. The clip has a little silver band up here. Now on the Pro Gear Slim, you've got the little anchor on top. On the Lecoule, it's just plain. The cap band of the Pro Gear Slim is a little more ornate, and it says Sailor, Japan, founded 1911. Okay, and it's got a thin cap band, plastic, a thicker cap band, and then more plastic. I'm a big fan of this look. It's nice. On the Lecoule, it's got printed on the pen under the clip Lecoule, and then on the back, Sailor Japan, and it's just a very simple cap band, which is nice to have. Not all pens have a cap band. That should prevent some cracking. I like both of these clips. The Pro Gear Slim has a little more detail in the clip, but the Lecoule has the same shape clip. It's just a little more plain, but still nice looking. And both of them have a little band down here near the bottom. The bottoms are plain. So exterior wise, they're both very nice looking pens. A nice thing about this Lecoule is the section is the same shape or same material as the rest of the pen. I kind of like that. Now some of the Pro Gear Slims, the material is the same. On the model that I have, or the version that I have, it's got this black section. I don't mind that. Let's see. The sections appear to be the same shape. I like the shape of them. They're both very comfortable. Let's see. Now, the Pro Gear Slim has this little metal insert, and it's got a little O-ring there that helps the body stay securely attached. And it's got this metal insert that you attach either the converter or the cartridge to. This one does not appear to have the metal insert. That's just made out of the same acrylic. But, you know, the quality feels nice. The threads feel good. Threads are nice and smooth, nice and tight. Now here's a big difference. Here's another reason it took me a little while to purchase this one. The Lecoule just has a very plain nib. Now, I'm a big fan of the Pilot Prera, which also has a very plain nib, but it writes wonderfully. And I just recently watched a review of this Lecoule, and someone was bragging about how well it wrote, so I thought, I need to give it a try. Now this is a steel nib. The Lecoule has just a plain steel nib. The Pro Gear Slim has a very pretty, ornate 14 karat rhodium plated gold nib. Okay, I have not, like I said, I just got this one in the mail today. I haven't written with it, so I'm curious to see how these two compare. Now, one thing, so this one, the rest of the pen is nice and smooth, but I mentioned in a previous video that in the section the injection molding seams are visible. So there's one on one side. Now the one on this side's really been smoothed out a lot better. It's not as visible and you can't hardly feel it. The one on the right is a little more pronounced. Let's check out the Lecoule. I cannot even feel. I feel like maybe right here is where one of the seams was, but it's been polished down. Almost imperceptible. If you didn't know there had been a seam there, you probably wouldn't notice it. So far the build quality of the pen body on this Lecoule is very nice. I'm liking it. Okay, let me see if we've got some ink flowing yet. Let me get this out of the way. Okay, yeah. I'm not normally a fan of black ink for everyday writing. I do typically prefer like a dark saturated blue. I'm a big fan of Oxford blue. Let's see, it's Diamine Oxford blue, and I'm also a fan of Diatramentis Sherlock Holmes. Those are two very similar inks. And recently, in a recent video, I used Iroshizuku Azagao. It's a nice royal blue. It's got a little purple to it. Okay, let's see. I think I've got this Pro Gear Slim, in my experience, limited experience so far, is a fairly dry writer. It's actually well tuned. It writes very nicely, but it just tends to be drier than other pens, other similar pens. Let's see. I'll put it over here with this recent writing sample. Okay, I'm curious. I'm gonna do the Lecoule first. Let me get my glasses on. Let's see how well this posts. Yeah, that's nice. Fits in my hand very nicely. All right, let me see how to spell this. Lecoule. Oh. Let's see, this is a fine steel nib. It is very smooth. Oh, let me compare it to this one, to the Pro Gear Slim now. Wow, the Lecoule is smoother than the Pro Gear Slim, noticeably smoother. And this is a 14 karat fine nib. Yeah, you can hear more feedback with this. You can feel it to an extent. This is not unpleasant, but wow. Let's compare how wet they are. And that may have something to do with how smooth it feels, because I know this one is a dry writer. Look at that. And just from the writing on the paper towel. I don't know. I mean, this is a little bit wetter. But not as much as I thought it was going to be. I don't know. Now that looks a little wetter. Let's see. Okay. I don't know. The Pilot Custom 74 is smoother than both of these, but I think that Lecoule, yeah. The Lecoule is a little bit smoother. But I'll tell you this, they're both, it's close enough that these are both really nice pens. I mean, I like both of them. I like this style. For someone with smaller hands, this is a great pen. Now, I would say there's a pen in between these two, I would say in quality. Now, both of these are a similar style, but there's another Sailor steel nib called the Pro Color that looks more like a Sailor 1911. Like it's this style, but it's got rounded ends. And the steel nib on it has the ornate like scroll work and stuff on it that the Pro Gear Slim has. The Sailor Pro Color has a steel nib that looks like this one. So if you want something a little fancier than the Lecoule, but you don't want to spend the money to get the Pro Gear or the Pro Gear Slim or the 1911, the Pro Color is a nice option in between these two. I'm very happy with this pen. All right. If you found this video helpful, please give me a thumbs up, and if you'd like to see more videos like this, please subscribe to my channel.